Hey everyone, it's Wowous. We're here with our third episode with this tutorial of Rise to Ruins. If you like this content, definitely do subscribe to my channel as we've been doing this series on Rise to Ruins. So we're going to go back. As you may recall, we ended our last video by upgrading our camp, but we had a number of villagers die due to some dehydration issues. So we survived our first night though. So now we're in our second day, and we're going to see here what we can do to sort of make it through the next day and talk about some of the priorities as your town really gets going, or as your village really gets going here. So yeah, you may remember what did we do? We have lumber coming in now, and we're starting to produce it here with our makeshift lumber mill. You may recall we just upgraded our camp to a large camp, so now it can store more stuff and we can build more buildings. We're getting ready to upgrade our housing, and we just need a few more boards, one more board. And we said we were going to talk a little bit about resources and how to manage them. So let's start off with that. So you see here this resource management tab. So where the trees here, you just say to your folks, go cut these trees down, and they just keep bringing them over indefinitely until they run out of things to cut up or chop down or whatever it is. But here in the lumber mill, when you get to sort of these, you move from harvesting to refining, you have to tell your folks what to do. And so you'll see here, we have 9 and actually I'm going to use some of these to upgrade this while we're talking. So we're going to upgrade here. And so you want to do here, you can say to them, here, I need you to make 10. So you have 9 here, and it's saying make 1 more, which is 10. Or you can say maintain. So if you say maintain 10, that means every time that someone takes one out, he's going to make another and always hold on to at least 10 at any given time. So we're actually going to jack this up quite a bit because we're going to use a lot of boards at the game. So we're going to say to them, hey, why don't you make 25? So we always have 25 sort of in supply at any given time, which I think will be great. And at the same time, we're going to reclaim this bow tower. Now, we don't have everything yet that we need, but you saw we sort of had some fights here. Oh, geez, and the slime is here. The slime will still hang out in the middle of the day, and it says here, hey, you need refined materials, things like that. Just to give you a little tool tip. But we do need some stuff to get this going, and you see here we need a crystal. We don't have any crystals, so let's see if we can maybe grab some, harvest these crystals over here. But it also means we need a harvesting crystal harvestry, and I think these are the only crystals nearby. There's some like way over there, but I think we'll put this crystal harvestry. I don't want to knock down that because that will be good. There's not a great location. It's kind of too far from this, but I think what I'm going to do is put it down over here because it's actually a little bit closer to these. And so I'm going to tell my folks to mine these ones too over here. But it just doesn't quite fit in right here. So that's not, ideal in terms of what we're trying to do. But, our folks are working on building that. And you see here, where's our lumber jack guy, our carpenter, I should say. So yeah, he is, basically, because I only have one working, right? It only works when he's working. So if he's sleeping at home or whatnot, it literally nothing is happening. But you see here, they're going to continue to bring wood here, and we've got to a point where we more or less have enough wood. And you'll see these guys will continue to pick up these kind of wood on the ground and put them in the right place. So this lumber mill can hold on to a bunch of wood to start. So basically, you see like down here, you've got the raw wood, and then it turns into boards, which is great. So basically they're gonna pull this stuff up to this, and then he'll build boards from it. And I think that right here is our carpenter, right? So perfect. And then if there's extra, they'll actually drop them off in the wood storage, and you can see here they already have put three of the boards over there. So he's going to just continue to make them one after another. And you'll see he's going to end up at 11, and then he's just going to keep making them so that there's always 25 in storage, and then he can kind of rest, which is good. And then once we have this housing upgrade, we'll have enough housing for everyone, and then maybe we'll see some folks start showing up because, as you can imagine, you're going to want folks to to start showing up. And the way that you get more folks is to have sort of a nice village with some defenses and stuff like that. So hopefully as we continue to upgrade and have more housing and have more stuff ready to go, as we get into the second day here, we'll maybe have some other folks show up that want to join our village, and then we can kind of re-up what we're doing here with between water and all that sort of stuff. So we take a look here, our water purifier is still going pretty good. It's just sitting there at 264, so our water masters are a little bit slow, but I think they're pulling water up to the farm probably. Yeah, so you see here they're still filling up water in the farm, but with 2 of them we have basically just enough water to make sure everybody's doing okay with that, so dehydration won't be a problem anymore. You see the mining facility is working just fine, and it's really a game now of prioritization, is which things do you upgrade, and which of your buildings need to be upgraded the quickest. And you'll see here they're actually, you know, while we don't have that 1 crystal that you need, where it says no available crystal, we still can get the 6 wood, and so people will still bring that by as it becomes available. So they're going to do everything they can up to kind of the last section, and you can see we got a lot of rocks sort of here, and kind of our next step, one of our next things we'll be doing is building, we'll be refining that into a stone cuttery, because we're gonna need that. And so actually I'm probably gonna pop this down now because we're definitely gonna need this building, and we're gonna put it kind of right here next to everything else, and that has the same effect as the lumber mill, where it just basically takes these rocks and turns them into like carved stones, and you're going to need those for, again, more advanced buildings and whatnot. So that's going to become a necessity too in our world here. You see there's still quite a bit to upgrade. You know, now it's taking 26 of the wood plus 2 boards, so it becomes really cost intensive the more you upgrade these buildings, right? And so at some point it may be advantageous for us to just build a second housing, like a second regular housing. And you can, what I like to do sometimes is, you know, when you get to that point, you can build a second housing, and then also make it like a high quality housing. So it's just something to think about in terms of that. Let's see. Yeah, so the housing, you know, we can put like another one around here, and then that will automatically add. So the default one has 4 capacity right off the bat, and then you can kind of slowly add to it. So and it's cheaper, right? So like to build this, it just requires 24 wood, as you can see. So it actually becomes cheaper in terms of having a building. So really the trade-off, right, is that if you build a second one of these, you lose your ability to have 1 more housing, or to have 1 more building, but you increase capacity at a much cheaper rate. So at some point, usually I will build a second housing, because eventually it becomes more expensive to just upgrade this to get a couple more beds than it is to just build a whole new housing unit. And we still have the doggo house. We don't have any dogs yet, and yeah, everything's kind of coming along nice and slow here. And that's what I like about this game, is that it's not too chaotic until usually you're getting attacked in the middle of the night, that sort of thing. But during the day, it's got a nice kind of leisurely pace to it. So yeah, let's see here. And I'm gonna actually put down some healing, I think. Oh no, we're still at a point where we don't have enough healing for these folks. So down the line, we're going to have to build a clinic, and you'll see here it helps. You can basically designate someone to be a medic and help go around and heal your folks, which I think will be really important. So I actually am going to, I think, queue that up too. But I like to try to not queue up too many buildings at once, because it kind of, you know, it gives them, they already have a lot to do. They're already working on upgrading this building. They got to build these other 2 buildings. So I try to be thoughtful about not putting down too many buildings at once, especially when all of them are going to be not built, and you don't want the enemies to hop in at night and easily destroy a building that's like basically like this, because it has almost it has 0 health, seen, so they can destroy it pretty quickly. What is going on over here? Oh, he's sleeping outside. Yeah, if you don't have enough housing, this is what happens to your folks, is he literally is just taking a nap outside because he doesn't have a space in this house. He's one of the 2 folks that doesn't live in this house. But once it gets upgraded, he'll be able to sleep inside and will get better rest and be more productive. What do we got here? Damaged buildings. If you have builders and the structures in range, the village, they'll automatically try to repair it when they have time. So yeah, if you're not building anything, they're going to go back and repair it. And you can actually see the health bar right here for our camp, right? So at some point, we want to stop building everything so that these folks can go in and actually repair this stuff. And then yeah, you'll see here, look, our lumber, or our carpenter, I should say, is just at about 16 boards, and he's continuing to kind of plow away at that. So eventually we'll be in a good place where he'll be able to take a little bit of a break too, which will be nice. And now we actually have enough boards for this to be built, and now we're just trying to pull in enough lumber between all the builders. So what I'm going to do is take away one of the water masters and actually add him to the building, because I think it looks like we more or less have enough water for the moment. We're obviously purifying some, but the farm has a lot of water. The rain catcher has a little bit of water, but not a ton. But you see here the housing has quite a bit of water. So we're doing okay for water now. And you can easily just switch their kind of jobs around. And it's not too cumbersome or time consuming. And it'll just help, you know, adding one more there is going to increase our kind of building speed by about 25%. Or 33% as we have another person. So it's just going to be a little bit more helpful to have 4 than 3. And where are we in terms of the day? Oh yeah, evening. We're hitting evening now, so we're going to end up having to fight again, which is not going to be ideal, not having this bow tower built yet. We could switch and make this the priority, but I still don't know that this is going to get built fast enough. They're bringing over the stuff. You know, there's still a lot to get built here, so I think I'd rather actually have the housing up and running for the night, because I don't think there's any chance we're going to get a crystal in time, because then once this gets built, we have to switch somebody to become a crystaller to go pick up the crystals, and like the odds of this happening by the time nightfall hits is very, very low at this point. And I wonder how our food storage is doing too. And you know, there's a bunch of tabs that we haven't gone through. Maybe in our next video we'll kind of go through some of these tabs and talk about what some of them do to kind of give you a better sense. But you know, we're just taking a quick look here, and you can kind of see there's a little bit of food in the camp. There's a little bit of food here in the housing. There's a full amount of food here in the farms. The farm is basically at capacity, but there's probably nowhere to store the food, which is problematic. And that's another thing that we just got to worry about, is we need to be able to store all this food for the winter, because we're not going to be able to grow much. So, and the tough part is, you know, you can put down this food storage, but again, every one of these that you build takes away from how many buildings you can have. So if you build a food storage, you know, all it can hold is food. And then what I typically will do pretty soon is build an ancillary. And let's see if we can find that. I believe it's under storage. No, it's not under storage anymore. It's under, what is it under? Where? Did they get rid of the ancillary? They may have gotten rid of it. It used to be a kind of an all-purpose storage facility that you could have, but I'm thinking it may be gone in this newer version. The you know, the game is consistently updated by the creator. We have a kitchen. I don't see the ancillary, so maybe they did get rid of it. But there used to be an ancillary, at least, that you could use as kind of storage. See here, we're almost done with this housing. Down to, we need just 5 more wood, and our builders are going strong here, getting this done. And they're actually pretty well along in the crystal harvestry too. And like you see up here, they're bringing up a bunch of that wood. Oh, and this camp is on fire, so we definitely need to make sure that we focus on repairing this building. Gonna prioritize it too to put it at the top. There we go. Almost done. Just needs one more wood. And you see the home here. The nice thing about a home is you get all these bonuses. They get a sleep speed bonus, they get a happiness bonus, they get a health regen bonus. So it's really helpful to have housing for everybody. It's actually one of the most important things in the game. That and water, obviously, as we learned last week. Come on, one more builder. There we go. It's like the Hound in Game of Thrones carrying around the huge log. There we go. So now everybody in our population has housing, which is great. Makes it a little bit better. And now they're going to move on to taking care of the crystal harvestry and making sure that gets finished next. Take a look at our carpenter here. He's pulling over all this wood into the wood storage to just put it somewhere for now, which is great. And what's nice about that is, right, he takes this out of here, and then it allows the lumberjacks here to pull in the wood more directly into the lumber mill, because there's room in the lumber mill. So they chop down all these trees, and they can pull this wood right over here. Oh, and there's some silk, too, for bandages, which will be nice down the line. Geez, our camp is really getting killed. Oh, and you see here, we actually have, so these builders, because they know they need crystals, are literally going to grab crystals just to throw here and finish this makeshift bow tower, which is great. So yeah, our builders will focus on that if they need to. If they realize they don't have something and there's something that they can, they're going to go and grab those crystals and pull them over. In fact, I think I'm going to stop this or cancel. Do I want to cancel this? I think what I want to do instead is upgrade this camp, and that will get them to sort of focus on it, because this is going to become, the settlement is going to become the top priority building when I push it to the top. So the builders will focus on that instead of the crystallary, because I don't need the crystallary right now, but I do need this settlement to survive the night. Come on, builders. I don't want to drop a meteor on them. That seems like a pretty bad idea at the moment, especially given how low the health is here. But now you see right here, our builder here has finally realized that this building is falling apart and it needs to be repaired. So that's good that they finally are focusing on it a little bit. See him fleeing. And geez, we need definitely some defenses, and that's definitely a downside right now. But you saw the night didn't last too long. Oh no! That was just dusk. I thought that was the night. And now we'll have to deal with even more enemies. And we didn't get any new villagers, which is rough for sure. But our villagers continue to do repairs, which is really what we need of them. And you see each repair kind of slowly does this. So the priority is you want to push this up to top priority by hitting these buttons here. So it tells them, hey, work on this instead of, this down here. Now, folks will still bring stuff down here and you see, oh no, it's getting attacked. That's no good. We're starting to see more headless show up. And that building may be in trouble, actually. I'm trying to see if there's any magic we can pick up to maybe drop another meteor here. We're pretty close. Here we go. Now, obviously, we're doing damage to our crystalry, but it starts a fire on the ground here, which also will kill these headless and these folks. So it's okay to take some damage here, but eventually you can see down here all these headless are coming from kind of down this way. So eventually we're going to want to build a tower right here because it's pretty clear that this is like where the enemies are all kind of climbing up from. And I may have to actually drag one of my folks down here. Let's see who's hanging out. Oh no, I don't have enough. Oh no, I need to grab. Why don't you come down here and help fight? What are you doing? Oh no, she's incapacitated. That's no good. And now she's running away. Damn you, Marilyn Monroe. But you see, luckily these buildings are pretty tanky, and they can take quite a bit of damage from all these folks, and that will stop them from attacking kind of the more important buildings for now. But we still don't have quite enough to launch another meteor at them. Now she's fighting this headless, thank goodness. Alright, let's try it again. I really would prefer to use a golem, but I don't have enough influence because you see here the influence is refilled over time, blah, 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 but you need more villagers. So, like, the fact that we lost a couple of villagers early on to dehydration means we don't have enough influence to do basically anything from a magic standpoint. So we literally have to keep using this meteor, which is damaging the building that we're building. But luckily the night's going by pretty quickly. We'll get through it. I think we're gonna lose this building. It's getting clobbered down here. And the other thing we can do is we can push it back up to the top and move away from, because the settlement's doing okay for now. This will pull the builders down here to maybe repair some of it. I can drop another meteor in a second. So we'll try to drop a meteor right here on top of these folks. But you can see here now it's basically on fire and it's slowly burning up. So very unlikely that our builder's going to get there in time. I'm going to try to grab a little bit of this magic here to just drop another meteor on top of these folks. Because the other problem is we're going to end up having to deal with them because they're going to just come up here to the water purifier next. And you can see how this game becomes very difficult very quickly because you're basically just always in a situation where you don't have enough of what you need. And here they come, sort of rushing up. So we're going to prioritize this building so that our, the repairs start down here. And hopefully some of these villagers will notice some of these folks. Maybe we push this bow tower to the top and try to get folks to finish it in enough time. It doesn't need that much, but we also don't have arrows, so that's going to be kind of useless. So maybe we just focus more on the water purifier, because we're going to be in trouble if we lose our water purifier, as you could tell from our last video. So what I think I'm going to do is I think we'll stop this video here, and then we'll start up again with our next video and kind of see if we can survive the night. But we've been going for about 25 minutes, so I think this is a good point to stop. It kind of gives you a sense of some of the initial struggles you're going to have with your first village, especially as you get invaded. So hopefully you like this content. If you do, please do like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll look forward to continuing sort of this fight down here at the bottom of the map in our next video. So thanks so much for watching.